Hey folks, it's been a while since I've been in VistaSculpt, and they've done quite a bit of upgrading since the last time I was in here. I've been busy working on other projects, and I was pleasantly surprised when I re-entered VistaSculpt the other day and found out that they've done a lot of work. And one of the neatest features I ran across was the ability to take a 2D image, a picture, and then turn that into a 360-degree 3D object that you can use in your 3D printers or your software, etc. And so I wanted to go through that real quickly. By the way, my name is Rob Sandstrom, and if you're not familiar with me, on my channel, I like to make things out of digital tools, I'll call it CNCs, lasers, 3D printers, etc. And this is my platform for sharing information that I learn about those things to pass on to others that might want to do this. With that, let's go ahead and get started into this actual tutorial. I'll start out with a picture of me and how I turn that into a full 360-degree object. All right, now we're in VistaSculpt. Let me go over a couple of the changes that have occurred. Again, it's been about a month since I was in here, and I got in here the last couple days, and I just got so excited I wanted to share with you some of the cool things. So now, if you come over here to Image to Relief, and you look there, you'll see with this drop down that there are extra things that are added here, specifically this one right here, image to 3D. That wasn't there before. And this is a new feature, and they've released it, and that allows us all to use it. And there are, I've noticed, just a couple bugs still left, and they're working on those. But with that, I still think it's one of the coolest things since sliced bread, and I know that the way they're working at this, they're going to do nothing but get this better. So let me start with this right here, image to 3D. Once again, I selected not to relief, not to vectors, but all the way down here to image to 3D, which is a full 360-degree model that they're able to get from a picture or from a prompt. So I'm going to go ahead and click to upload here. And in this case, I'm going to duplicate what I did yesterday. At least that's what I'm going to try to do and show you how it turned out. So I'm going to load an image, and the image I'm going to load is this one here, my bio picture. And I'm going to go ahead and go edit image. I've got a cold or hay fever, I should say, that I'm working with. And you'll notice that on this side, everything looks good. But on this side, the arm is cut off a little bit down here on this left side. And so I'm going to go ahead and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to crop the image. And I'm going to come down here, and where it shows it moving in, that's this side here, I'm going to move this out. And I'm going to slowly crop that image down to where it just covers up that sleeve and that arm. So I'm working with a clean image, and I'm going to hit apply. So now it's cropped, and you can see that it's been cropped over here also, but I don't want my arm cut off for this little statue that I'm going to make. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use their feature of expanding the image. The other thing I want to do is enhance the image because I've got this shiny material and stuff up here. So I think I'll just try to go ahead and enhance that and see what that does. It tells me it's going to cost me 2 credits. So I say go ahead. Now there's not much I can do to enhance that image. It is what it is, other than some of these shiny spots and so forth. Takes a few seconds to go ahead and do that enhancement. All right, now it's enhanced. Now this is a really interesting part because sometimes it works really well and sometimes not so well, but I've noticed that in VistaSculpt, it's been doing a pretty good job when I have been using it. I'm going to go ahead and use the AI function of this software, and I'm going to expand this image. What I want to do is get my arm back. So I'm going to take over here. This is the right side or left side, depending on how you're looking at it. And I'm going to move this out. Just use a judgment call, say about to here or so, enough to get the arm produced and coming down. So I'm going to come over here like this, and I'm going to go ahead and say expand image, and that's right down here. Expand will cost me 2 more credits. Do you know it's going to cost you credits? Yes, I know it's going to cost me credits, so I'm going to go ahead and pick that. And look at that. It gave me an arm.
Inconceivable! You keep using the word. I do not think it means what you think it means.
I'm going to hit apply. I don't know that I have to hit apply, but I do that because I don't want it to be lost. And now I have this sleeve over here. I like it just fine. It'll work for the demo on what I'm trying to do. Now I've got the image that I want, and I keep forgetting that every time I roll over there, it's asking me to go ahead and upload another image. I don't want to do that. So now, once I've got the image I want to work with, I come down here and I have a texture plus PBR, or I have geometry only. Notice geometry only doesn't cost me any more credits, but if I do texture plus GBR, texture plus PBR, then it would cost me credit. So let's try geometry only this time and see what that does for us. So I got geometry only, and I'm going to hit generate 3D model. So this looks pretty creepy when you look at it with no color or anything else. This is just the geometry, but you can see how cool this actually does look. This looks a lot like the model. I've got my teeth right here because of the shading. They're sticking out a little bit more, and my mustache right here, a little bit about my beard, and so forth. So this doesn't look too bad, actually. This looks pretty darn good, and I think that looks a lot like me, but it's creepy kind of looking at the model when you don't see any colors. And of course, that's how it'll print out if you just print it out like this. And I'm going to go ahead real quickly, and I'm going to export this model as an STL, but it looks pretty good. The thing I want to point out is look at this thing. This is full 3D. I'm turning this around by holding my left mouse button and moving it around. And honestly, if you look at the hairstyle and the forehead and all the shadowing, it actually looks like my picture, just doesn't have the shading. And so I'm going to go ahead and export this model first. And I'm going to export this as one that says Rob for YT video Rev 1, and I'm going to export that as an STL model. You have the following selections: STL, GLB with texture, OBJ with texture, and PLY. I'm going to go ahead and do this as a straight STL. Save. And it tells me it exported successfully. Just real quickly, look here. Look how my strap is twisted here. And if you look at the picture up there, my strap is twisted. I'm just amazed at how accurate this model actually is. This model, when it creates it with the PBR, is pretty impressive. All right, so now let's try this with the other feature, which is texture plus PBR. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to upload an image, and I saved the previous images that I did with where the arm had been added. So all I have to do is go back and get one of those images, and you can see here's one bio with full arm. So I'm going to grab that image. I'm going to open it up. And so this has the full arm, and the enhancements and everything have been done to this because I saved this image once before. Now I have texture plus PBR versus geometry only, and let's see what kind of model this creates. And you'll notice this is taking 6 credits. And there's a difference. As you can see, that looks pretty darn cool. It cost me 6 credits, but with that, I get all the coloring and everything else. So now that we have the 3-colored version, as I said, there are a number of ways you can export this file. And I was thinking that if I exported it as an OBJ with texture, or they've added a new one simply while I was making this video. They've upgraded it some more. They've got a 3MF export. So if I come down here and I export this, you're going to see I have the following versions now available in this version. It's upgraded one time since we've done. So now it's gone to STL, GLB, OBJ, 3MF DAE. And 3MF is the one that I'm familiar with a lot with Bambu, so I thought I'd do that. And when I do that, I was thinking I would get the color with that, but I'm finding that it doesn't come with the actual color. And so I'm talking with VistaSculpt to see if there's any plans in the future such that if I bring in one of these models, 3MF or objective with texture, is there a way it's going to come in so that I don't have to go through the process of painting the colors in Bambu Studio? That was the big advantage I would thinking. I mean, I think it's impressive. The model that's coming in is already impressive, but it would really be impressive if it came in with the colors and I didn't have to mess with those. But I think that'll be a future version that they'll have to work on to figure that out. Let me show you that you can export it as a 3MF. And so if I export it as a 3MF, I'm just going to simply say Rob Selfie Bambu. And the idea, I should say Rob Selfie Color Bambu. And I'm going to go ahead and save that now to my drive. And then we'll get into the Bambu slicer. Now we're in the Bambu slicer. Let's go ahead and bring in the STL that I previously saved. I'm going to go ahead and hit File, Import. And I'm going to go grab one that I saved earlier. How about I'm going to grab this one right here. I saved so many different ones. It's not really critical which one I grab. You'll see it comes in kind of small. If we look at the size of this thing by going to the scale, you can see it came in at 16.66 millimeters tall in the X direction. And I thought I was working in inches before, and maybe I didn't save it as inches, or maybe it always comes in as millimeters. I'll have to check on that for the future. It's not real critical for what we're doing here. I'm just trying to demonstrate how you can take the model straight out of VistaSculpt and bring it on in here. And so when you do that, you'll see you've got a couple little messages down here about simplifying the model. I'm not going to do any of that kind of stuff. You can try that later if you want. Messing with it, I'm going to show you how I actually go about printing this model. So I'm going to take the Z and I'm going to take that and leave this all uniform scale. I'm going to hit 100 right here. It grew up the model. Now the model is 4 inches tall, basically. Z 25 times 4, about 100. And I don't want to print it this way. I'm going to go ahead and put it on the flatness there. Let's lay on face. So I'll grab that right there, put it on this right here. And then there we are. Then I went ahead and said, okay, that looks pretty good. All right. If I wanted to take time and go ahead and do some things like painting and so forth, I could go about doing the painting and so forth on the model. But honestly, I don't want to mess with that right now. The purpose of this video is just to show you how you can bring it in here. Later, you can play with colors and all that, but I am so impressed with the detail in this model. Look at the strap here and the little buckle here, even the pin sticking out of the pocket here. It's pretty impressive from a 2D picture into a 3D model. So the next step is to go ahead and slice the plate. As I was expecting, you get a warning that you need to put supports on this because of the way they are. So what do is I come back over here to support. I hit enable support. I go ahead and reslice the plate. All right, it's got the supports going to be generated in there. You can see them over here. You can see a few under the arm and right here. And so I'm going to go ahead and take that, and it says total time 2 hours and 23 minutes. That's not too bad using a 0.220 millimeters or 0.2 millimeters, however you want to say it. And I'm going to go ahead and take that now, and I'm going to go print this thing, and we're going to send that to the printer. So what you're watching here is me printing this out on my Bambu 3D printer. It's an X1C. And this is what it looks like with all of the supports on it and everything else. And it stuck a little bit to the printer at first, then I pulled it out, bent the plate, and here's what it looks like. And then let's see what it looks like after we get all the supports off. Well, here's what it looks like in the final version. As you can see, it looks pretty spiffy if you ask me. What do you think? Is it a match? Well, I think it looks pretty good, and I'm pretty happy with how it turned out, and I am totally impressed with how you can go from a picture to a 3D object. Just wanted to share this new technology with you, or at least it was new to me, and something you might think about. A couple notes on this is this 2D to 3D, full 3D, is only available with their Pro subscriptions. So the month-to-month subscriptions, it's not part of that. You have to at least get a 3-month or longer. It's coming along fast. They've got a whole group of people, beta testers and people working with them to try to get it to be the best that it is. Although the 3MF and the objective with texture files aren't coming out in your Bambu slicer as full color yet, they're doing whatever they can to stay ahead of the pack and lead it. And for right now, I'm pretty impressed with their product. And it's even got me keeping my Windows machine open because normally I like to do everything on my Mac. I would note that this cannot be used on a Mac, or maybe more accurately, I should say, it doesn't have all of the functions that you would want to have for this software if you're doing on a Mac. So I went ahead and let my Mac subscription of the software go away because you would have to pay for 2 different licenses, and I just wanted to keep the one license, and that's on my Windows machine. I'm hoping that someday it might work on a Mac, but right now there are no promises. If you're interested in pursuing this a little bit further, I will have a discount code in the description of this video. And I will also tell you that I have taken this 3D output and I've actually used it in Aspire software and VCarve software. When you export as an STL, it's like any other STL, and it's worked just peachy. With that, I hope you have a great day. Hope you got something out of this video and hope you're excited to try something new.